Welcome to W&L Sports Weekly. I'm Jeremy Franklin. On this week's show, I'll be joined by men's track and field coach Brandon Yule, women's basketball captain Andy Smithey, and wrestler Rexx Hallyburton. But we begin with a quick look back at the weekend in Washington and athletics. Wrestling won its first conference championship in 41 years, claiming the Centennial Conference crown in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Ryan Luth won the individual title at 157 pounds, while four other generals reached the championship bout in their weight classes. Baseball opened up the season with a three-game sweep of Everett. Women's lacrosse kicked off the year with a 17-10 victory over 12th-ranked Mary Washington, and men's lacrosse fell 17-11 to number 8 Denison. Women's basketball defeated Virginia Wesleyan 82-38, while men's hoops dropped a 72-50 decision to number 3 Randolph-Macon. Riding placed fourth at the Lynchburg Invitational, and at the VMI Indoor Classic, Darcy Creed led women's track and field by tying the school record in the shot put, while the men's team recorded 6 career bests. With me in the studio is men's track and field coach Brandon Yule. Brandon, welcome back to the show.
Glad to be back.
There have been a number of impressive individual performances so far this winter from Washington and Lee. What's been working well for the Generals during the regular season?
Well, for the most part, up to this point, we've had good health, and the guys who've had good performances are obviously talented, and we put together good training weeks. In particular, I mean, Joe O'Connor he's kind of reaching his potential now as a sophomore. He's kind of gone through that first year adjustment period, and our distance crew is certainly putting down some good performances coming off of the cross country season. So definitely a lot to be looking forward to, and a lot that's happened well for us.
W&L has won the last 3 ODAC indoor titles. Does that recent success put more pressure on your team as you prepare for the conference meet next week?
I don't think it puts a lot of pressure on us. In a sense, I mean, it's a new year, and when you look at the seedings, honestly, we're actually behind. So we're kind of in a favorable position where we have the confidence of being able to win the previous 3 championships, but we also have a little bit of a fire because we're kind of going in as the underdogs based on performances this year.
You were talking about confidence. The flip side of the coin that you won the 3 straight conference titles at the indoor meet is that your guys know what it takes to perform in the clutch. How can you benefit from that past experience?
That's great. I mean, yes. I mean, last year outdoors was a big key. I mean, we went in probably the 3rd best team on paper, but our guys definitely just know what the atmosphere is. I think one thing that does help us is that we're coming off of a break, so the stress from school is not there. A little bit more decompressed in that factor. We're well rested, and yeah, they just know. I mean, we've been in that winning position, and they know what the environment's going to feel like. Our upperclassmen can definitely help our underclassmen. It's a good position to be in for sure.
How is the field shaping up for the ODAC indoor meet?
Well, on paper right now, I mean, as I said, we're underdogs. We're probably second on paper. Some school, Lynchburg's probably the favorite on paper. Bridgewater will play a factor in it with some of their individuals in certain key events, and then there's going to be other schools that will have strong individuals that will certainly displace some people. So it's really what's going to happen on those 2 days. This is the first year ever that we actually have a 2-day indoor meet, so that will also change the dynamic of the meet. But if we can just be healthy at that time, I think we can give ourselves a fighting chance.
Brandon, thanks for joining us. Best of luck in Salem next week.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Here with me now is Rexx Hallyburton, senior wrestler from Bishop, Georgia. Rexx, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
This past weekend, W&L won the Centennial Conference Championship, the program's first conference title in over 4 decades. What is the significance of that achievement for the Generals?
It's huge. Like you said, it's been 41 years, and the last time we won, I'm pretty sure it was not the same level of competition. So kind of getting to go in, win by a close margin, but meaning we won a bunch of big matches and really did what we'd been training to do the last year and the last 4+ years. So it was awesome.
Take us through last Saturday up in Pennsylvania. How did the Generals get to the top spot?
Yeah, kind of like I said, it was a lot of close matches. We had a tough loss not being able to wrestle our 125-pounder, but we had kids come in and win tight matches against Muhlenberg, which is what we needed. They ended up finishing second. Bryce Crew at 141 got a pin in the semis against a Muhlenberg kid that we needed. Shane Connors had an upset. He was down 6-2 and kind of came back and put a kid on his back and won. And then we had kids picking up bonus points, getting pins early. And then, of course, Ryan won for the first time since 2014, which was awesome to see.
As we discussed with Coach Shearer last week, you're part of a 5-man senior class that has seen its win total increase and seen its placing at the Centennial Meet improve in each of your 4 years. What have those 4 years been like for you and your fellow seniors?
It's been a process. It's been a lot of building and a lot of struggling at first. I mean, freshman year, I guess we got 4th, and that was the best we had done in a while still. But, still taking a lot of losses, still struggling to kind of win those big matches. Sophomore year, we had 4 kids in the finals of the conference tournament, and everyone lost, and we ended up getting, I guess, 3rd because of it. And so, kind of, it's been a slow process. It's been building, but kind of to see it all culminate now has been a super rewarding experience.
What are your expectations for the W&L program in the near future?
National champions, or at least some All-Americans, and I think this year we have a squad, that has the best chance to do it in probably program history. We have literally every single person in the lineup, if they put together a good tournament next week, has the potential to qualify for the national tournament. And once you're there, you got to win 2 matches to be an All-American. So just showing up and doing what we've been doing is going to have some big results.
Rexx, thank you for joining us. Best of luck to the team at the regional meet.
Thanks so much for having me.
Now joining me is Andy Smithey, senior basketball captain from Charlotte. Andy, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
After suffering your first loss of the calendar year to Randolph-Macon, the team has rebounded with a pair of lopsided wins. What have the Generals done to get back on track?
I think the Randolph-Macon was an interesting game because we were winning most of the game, but just had sort of this negative mindset about us. And I think moving on from that game, we've really been trying to, while looking at the things we could be doing better within each game at halftime talks, also just remembering to have fun and remembering that we've worked really hard to be where we are and we can take any team if we play our basketball. So I think just our mindset had to shift a little bit, and remembering we have to work for everything, that no win is guaranteed.
You enter the week ranked 2nd in the ODAC in field goal percentage, 10th in free throw shooting. What's enabled you to have such an efficient season on the offensive end?
I think my teammates setting me up in positions where I can score easily. Megan is one of the best passers, if not the best passer in the ODAC, and I think setting me up to be successful when I get the ball. I pride myself in trying not to take forced shots and just trying to get the best team shot overall, and I think working with such a great group of people around me has made it easy to have good openings or make me not have to work incredibly hard for every shot.
After you face Randolph tonight, the team will not play again until the conference quarterfinals, a gap of 8 days. What are the keys to staying focused during that long layoff at the end of the year?
I think that is the challenge that lies with not having a play-in game, and I think we have to just show up every day for the practice and take our rest days seriously off, and also showing up and being ready to work on the scout. We won't know who we're playing potentially until after the play-in game, and so really using the time to just every day to get better and have the momentum going into the tournament.
One of the team goals, of course, this year has been to win the program's 2nd ODAC title. What do the Generals need to do to make that happen in Salem next week?
I think remembering that we lost last year in the championship game, I think we have used that to fuel us all season. And when we get there, we weren't necessarily mentally prepared for it last year. I had never gone 3 games in a row to the championship game, and I think staying hungry, remembering what it felt like to watch the other team cut down the net is going to fuel us to be the ones who want it the most out there.
Andy, thank you for joining us. Good luck with the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Here's a look at the upcoming weekend. The track and field teams will compete at the JDL Fast Track in Winston-Salem. Baseball plays a 2-game set against Keystone starting on Friday and continuing on Saturday afternoon. Also Saturday, women's tennis will face 20th-ranked Washington University in Nicholasville, Kentucky. Women's lacrosse visits number 7 Franklin and Marshall, while men's lax plays host to Washington College. Men's basketball will close out the regular season at Ferrum, and men's tennis takes on North Carolina Wesleyan in Newport News. Riding has 2 events this weekend, traveling to the Bridgewater JMU Invitational on Saturday and to UVA on Sunday. The Sunday slate also features wrestling in action at the Northeast Mideast Futures Tournament in Allentown, PA, while women's tennis faces Center and men's tennis squares off against Christopher Newport. For W&L Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.